My name is Barry Allen, and I'm an innocent man. I'm being framed for something that I didn't do.
He stood among us, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
This is the only way. Tell everyone you're the Flash.
If everyone knew my secret, we would never be able to stop running.
The Flash returns with an all-new episode Tuesday, January 16th on the CW.
Oh my goodness, that last episode was crazy, right? The whole twist ending, and you better believe that we are going to talk about that. But this episode really sets up what's going to happen in the next one, and this promo just makes it even better. We're going to have the trial of the Flash, which if you remember from season 1, was seen when Barry ran into the Speed Force to save his mom, but then he didn't save his mom, not until season 3. And he also hinted at him going into trial when he returned from the Speed Force and he was all Rain Man crazy, saying things that didn't make sense. The difference here from the comics is that the trial of the Flash in the comics was because he murders the Reverse Flash, not because he was being framed for killing Clifford DeVoe. Speaking of being framed for killing DeVoe, I get that he didn't run because he doesn't need to run all the time now because he has Iris and he's happy and he's like, oh, it's okay, everything's all good, I don't need to always be running. But what the balls is the reason that he just left DeVoe's body on the ground there? Why? It's not like the Flash is a newbie to killing people and then getting rid of the body. Anyone remember Blackout? They killed him and then they just threw away the body. Anyone remember Girder? He died and then they just put him in the morgue. They didn't give his family any closure. They just threw him in the cold locker of Star Labs. So let's not pretend like the Flash is above getting rid of a body, alright? This was sloppy. But for the thinker, that shit was amazeballs. I can't believe he set the Flash up so hard. Oh my goodness, the whole thing with just being a major setup. The whole episode thinking they stood a chance, and no, they did not. It was awesome. The entire thing just blew my mind. Everything was just planned meticulously, and it was great. But back to the trial in the comic books, because, you know, everybody wants to know about the stuff. The Flash goes in for breaking the Reverse Flash's neck. The Reverse Flash was going to vibrate his hand through the Flash's soon-to-be wife's brain, and it was not Iris West, because he had already killed Iris West. And the Flash tried to stop him, which led to the horrifying, if not well-deserved, neck break. Of course, the Flash, not Barry Allen, was taken into custody. I say the Flash because they never took his mask off. The crazy thing is that the Flash was released on his own recognizance because they knew that they could not hold him. And this also explains why throughout the entire arc of the trial of the Flash, he was still running around saving people, fighting crime, even though he was, you know, going to trial for murder. It's stupid. He's saving everyone's life while they're like, we gotta stop him because he killed a man from the future who's not even born yet because our law is so sophisticated that we can do shit like that. It's stupid. But it was kind of cool too because the trial of the Flash is the last arc until we see the Flash return 20 years later. But this also might explain in the promo where the Flash is still in his suit. We know that he's, you know, going to jail, so why would the Flash even show up in his suit? Why would he need to be in his suit? And it wasn't Wally this time. So just because he might be in prison doesn't mean that Central City doesn't need the Flash. And it doesn't mean that Barry's not going to maybe sneak out and save the day and then go right back to prison. I mean, they couldn't really hold Barry even if they wanted to. I mean, did you see him in the last episode where he was just standing still and vibrating so fast that DeVoe couldn't see him? That shit was legit. I love it when he uses his speed how it's supposed to be used. It was super legit. It was less legit when DeVoe grabbed his hand. That was kind of fucked up. But the rest was still amazeballs. I'm sure that this trial is going to go down just as well as the one in the comic books, alright? Whether or not Barry will be allowed to return to CCPD afterwards is completely up in the air right now. But they will figure out how to get him out of jail. It's probably going to be weird, you know, him losing his job again, because he did lose his job last season. But maybe he'll be okay. Maybe they'll just welcome him back. I mean, they didn't really welcome back Dibny, but, you know, Dibny was different. They didn't prove that he didn't do anything. He was found guilty. So as long as the Flash isn't found guilty and maybe they can prove that the Thinker is DeVoe, then maybe he can come back. But that's going to be hard now that DeVoe is running around in a much younger body. And I say much younger, like it's a completely different person. It's a completely different person. They can't find him. If he doesn't want to be found, he's not going to be found. Another part of the promo that was great was Cecile telling Barry to tell everyone that he's the Flash. I doubt that that's actually going to happen, but in the comic books during the trial, his lawyer, Cecile Horton, didn't think about having the Flash reveal his identity. No, she just tried to figure out his identity because she hated the Flash. Instead, what she did to win the case was, what she tried to do to win the case was that she tried to rip off the Flash's mask in court to reveal that it was Barry Allen, but then, oh my goodness, everybody was just shocked that it wasn't Barry Allen. It was a man that they had never met before. The whole point was that, you know, maybe if you could show that it was Barry Allen, you could justify him wanting to kill the Reverse Flash, because Reverse Flash killed Iris West. But it was a different man under the mask. What a freaking twist. Oh my god, it threw everyone off. Nobody knew what the hell was happening. You gotta love how close yet different all of this is turning out to be. You know, from the comics to the episodes, characters that you've seen in the comics are here in the TV show, but, you know, they're just different. They have different relationships with the people, and it's just, I love it. Also, in the comic book during the trial, Barry's parents were still alive. You might be asking how that's possible. Because the Reverse Flash had not killed his parents yet, alright? That wasn't introduced till way later. But with the Flash being in jail, who's gonna take over, you know, trying to save Central City, even though we did see him in the suit that one time? I mean, there's other heroes. Killer Frost would probably do it just because, you know, she's a villain, but she still does stuff to help the team. You got Vibe, you got Gypsy, you got Kid Flash. Even though he's out having awesome adventures that we don't get to see, like fighting Starro. Why did you not show that to us? That really hurt my feelings, but obviously he would come back. You have everyone from Arrow, Supergirl. I mean, it's just, if they needed a reason to keep Flash in jail and, you know, someone to protect Central City, then they have it. You know, they have enough heroes. There's tons of heroes. There's no shortage, all right? Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot. There's also Elongated Man, who we finally got to see in this last episode. And I loved it because he was having so much fun with his powers. He was trying to be Santa Claus, and then he did the Frosty the Snowman thing. I feel like every time Dibney shows up, it makes me happy. He's just a great person to see. You gotta love the Dibney. But the biggest problem here is what's gonna happen with the wife now? Is she gonna pretend to be all mopey? Oh, my husband's dead. Oh no, Barry, you killed him. I told you he was a monster. Like, that's not, I don't know. I don't see how they're not gonna be able to use her as a way to prove that this didn't go down how it was supposed to go down, you know? But you also have to love the correlation of Barry Allen's being arrested for stabbing a man when Barry's father was arrested for stabbing his wife. Oh my goodness. It was, if DeVoe had to pick a crime to frame Barry for, this was a pretty good one. Because how many times have you watched any kind of criminal show, Law and Order maybe, and some guy commits a crime that's similar to the one that happened to someone close to him? Because they just snap and then, oh, they're crazy. Because it's easier to believe someone would snap than they're being framed. All I'm saying is that you should have run, dude. You should have run. There was no reason for you not to run. There's a whole multiverse out there. Nazi World would have been a good place to run to. I'm just saying. But the biggest thing to come out of this entire episode, guys, is DeVoe's wife. Because DeVoe's wife has traded up. You saw that, right? She traded up. And you know what they say, guys? Once you go black, you don't get to use the fact that you dated a black person to say insensitive things. Remember that, all right? The more you know.